Hey folks, Sugar Bytes has released Cyclop, a massive bass synth with layer upon layer of modulation, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show you it all, but I'm going to try my best by making a dubstep patch. So I've got the initialized patch here, and I got to turn off the video game by hitting the robot, and it starts off with the analog sync. Let me get a pattern playing here so I'm not just randomly tapping on things. And this analog sync on the first synth engine is pretty good for kind of typical grungy bass synthy sounds. So let me find a nice, oops. Oh yeah. It helps if you have a different oscillator type on the different, the slave and master here. Try to reverse that. It's a bit quiet. Let me throw in some distortion. Oh, that is clipping on the oscilloscope. Let me lower that. Actually see what's going on. God, that is really annoying. Holy shit. Alright. So you can see as I'm shaping this. And I'm listening now for kind of a grungy, bassy sound. You get higher notes, or more shrill, I should say, with the sync frequency, which is pretty amusing on the oscilloscope. And we've got this whole wobble thing, which is extremely amusing, because this is like a LFO that you can control the rate of with this whole sort of sequencer thing. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to set the first and second parameters here. I'm going to set the first one to be modulated now by the wobble amount, which is this. And you see as I get further to the right, it's changing the rate of the wobble. And I'm going to switch this up to a sine by using this thing here to make them all change. Like, you can hit the random and get all kinds of weird shit. I think I'm just going to change everything to sine here to keep it simple. And I'm going to use the envelope assignment here to control the sync frequency. So actually, I'm going to put that in reverse, and I'm going to use the decay so it's going to be pushed down and then brought back up. That's going up a little too high. It's still going up just a little too high, I think. And the pulse width can also... God, if you hold down too long, it'll ask you if you want to MIDI assign things, but as you see, that sometimes happens just in the course of things. It actually sounded better in the center. Alright, so I got that. I'm going to now assign the... actually, I'll come back to the filter assignment in a second here. Let me bring in the second synth engine here. And I'll do that by switching this into serial mode. So now I can shape between the two synths. And now I'm going to activate this. And you see you get different engine types, and I'm going to show you the saw regiment, which lets you do a super saw. I'm gonna bring that down an octave. You can change the octave range of everything. Oh, I'll show you another thing here real quick. I'm probably not going to use this, but you see on the oscilloscope this sine wave from the sub oscillator. You can also change the... You might actually hear this now. You can change the octave range of that. I'm probably not going to use that, but it's handy if you need to try to add some low end. So I'm already adding plenty of low end with the 2 synth engine here. So I think what I want to do with this is take that same envelope that's controlling the second parameter of the first engine and control the first parameter of the second engine. Once again, so now when that note hits, it's giving us a single bit of the saw, and then it kind of blooms. I like how that sounds. You can detune this, and that doesn't sound very good. Or on top of the super saw, you could add a Unison mode, which is adding actual additional voices. Well, once again, I think that's getting a little too crazy, because now instead I'm going to try to mix in our first and second synth engines here. Raise the booster there a bit. Okay, now we get into the dubstep-y stuff. So I'm going to assign to the wobble amount here the cutoff frequency of the low-pass filter here. Instant dubstep, right? Now, I could continue to just do this, but there's this really, really handy thing. If you click over here, you get the opportunity to assign animation. So let me set this to be a bar long. Oh yeah, and turn it on. So now the rate of this wobbler thing is being affected by how I've got that animated. And you can do a similar sort of thing with this whole effects engine. And I've had weird results. Let me try to show it to you right now. And if it doesn't work, we're going to skip this altogether. So doing the same exact thing here, right? Setting my length to 1 bar. No, it's just disappearing. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong there. You can record stuff here. So I hit that. Oh. And now there's this whole mini effectrix thing here. So I can say, give me a phaser whenever it's on that section. And a bunch of chorus here. And then there's a whole bunch of other effects. And I'm not going to show you them all, but there's also a gator up here where you can actually cut the volume on sections. But by cutting it up a little bit, it creates kind of a stuttering effect. And there's several different types of loopers here that also add kind of a stuttering thing. And unfortunately with the touch interface, this is a tiny ass screen, I don't know if you'll notice, but I'm like sitting way up on my desk right now to try to touch accurately. Oh, damn, I almost had it. Yay, I got all the gates back. All right. So, let's see, what else can I do? I can play around with the Formant filter. Let me give this a shot here. Switch this into low pass, which is this one. And by tapping vowel, I can now say, I want you to morph when you're over here from an O, and then when you're over here, I want you to give me a Y. So we're going Oi. And let me try now assigning this to the wobbler. Oh, that's way too much of that. That is the effect. Like that's how that's supposed to sound. I've never been particularly fond of Formant filters, but the trick here, if you're doing this yourself, is make sure you give it some resonance or you're not going to hear it. And unfortunately, there's a dry wet setting on both of the filters, so you could do something really outrageous like this and then just kind of tame it a little bit by pulling in more of the dry. Now this is working because I'm specifically in this serial mode where it's going serially from filter 1 into filter 2. There's also a serial 2 and then a split where you get synth engine 1 going into filter 1 and 2 into 2. So there's also you see here this red 1 bit here. It's a additional distortion effect. So we got 2 different types of distortion. When it's all the way like this, it's killing that. I haven't figured out how you change that. Anyway, I hope that this has been helpful. It's got so many layers. Like, oh God, there's also this sound shaping thing where you can specifically set things that you want to change. I'll show you that real quick here. So there's a sound here. Let's say I want to change the stab. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I want to change the stab, which is the second parameter of synth engine 2. So now when this is over here, you're getting the default value of the knob. Or there's also a step sequencer. Let me do the same thing here. And you get into that from the envelope thing. And you can say things like that wobbling is just fucking weird. Like I dig dubstep and all, but after listening to this long enough, I'm getting like kind of fatigued by it. Let's see. Anything else useful to show you? There's a regular LFO in here, which you control in here as well. But I honestly think that it's more amusing to play around with this thing because you get the ability to animate it with this. And you can also do the same with the sound if it lets me. Nope, it's not going to fuck with me. Well, there's the recorder. Oh, that's right. I changed the assignment, so we're not hearing anything. Let's see. Oh, and there's an amount. The amount is really handy if you really get into this wobbly thing. Where is that? Notice there's this A, B here. So now this is doing its thing, but it's not affecting all the stuff that we had assigned to it, as you see here. So you get different types of assignments for the two. Oh yeah, this might be interesting. Too much resonance. Play around with the pulse width a little bit. Alright, so now when you use this, you can morph between these two different assignments for all these settings. So that adds an extra layer to the performance, and once again there's the record and playback for any kind of sequencing you want to do in your morphing. I hope that this has been helpful. It's just such a massive thing. I wanted to kind of throw everything at you at once to hope you see something that you like. Thank you very much to all my Patreon patrons for making these possible. Take it easy, guys. All right, so you get the and then it goes just all over the place. And that's going to be great for the next step here, which is to create a more cohesive beat for this to be playing along with. And for that, I'm going to be using this beat sequencer here where you can just add in kicks and bring down the slicer. Whoops. And you can also like hard enable and disable things from here, so you get kind of a performance control there where I've basically just completely taken out the melody and replaced it with the glitching chirping sounds, which as you see up here is affecting this. I kind of like that. Let's stick with that.